We all are people pleasers. We all do something to get validation from other people. And you, me, everyone are people pleasers. But there is a lot of ways that we can reduce our people pleasing behaviors to a large extent. It's not that it can't be reduced, it can be reduced. So in this video, let's learn about why we are people pleasers and what can we do about it. Reason number one, we are conditioned. While growing up as a child, we always used to seek validation from our parents. We always wanted to hear you are a good boy or a good girl from our parents. So we modified our behavior to meet their expectations, to get that praise, to get that validation from them. We studied hard to get better grades, or we ate our all vegetables, or maybe we hid them so that they don't know that we didn't eat our vegetables. We did all kind of activities just so that we could get this few words of appreciation from them. And this thought pattern continued to school too, where we would try to please our teachers too. We'll do all our homeworks, we'll try to have small talks with them, we'll try to just please them by answering the questions in the class. So at some point we wired our brain into believing that if people are not telling that you are good enough, you aren't. If no one is saying that you are gonna succeed, then you won't. We are conditioning ourselves like this from our childhood, like when we were kids. So this conditioning is very hard to break, but it can be broken. You just need to believe that you can unlearn this behavior. And just know that unlearning is one of the most valuable skills you can find in this modern era. Because once you learn how to unlearn stuff, you can get rid of all the bad programming that has been holding you back for a long time. And to do that, you need to let go of your ego, because your ego will say that you are right, those other people are wrong. But if your belief isn't serving you, if your belief isn't making you happy, then what is the purpose of that belief? It is just a preconceived notion in your brain that what you believe is true and what others say isn't. So we are always we are attached to those ideas that we consider our identity as to that ideas. So why hold on to a belief that doesn't serve you, that doesn't make you happy? It's completely foolish to do that, right? And believe me, it takes a large amount of humility to accept that, yes, I have been people pleasing. I have been seeking validation from other people for a long time now. It takes a large amount of humility to accept that fact. And once you accept that fact, you can change it. Reason number two, evolutionary science. If we go back to when we were hunters and gatherers, we used to live in tribes, we used to live in groups. And if you did something that the group didn't consider as ethical or didn't consider as a good act, then you would be kicked out of the group. And if you are kicked out of the group, that means certain death for you, because you can't survive in the wild on your own. You can't get food, you can't protect yourself from wild animals in the wild. So it was essential for us to live according to the rules of the tribe and stay close to our friends and our tribe members. And now the tribes have been replaced by societies in our mind. So whenever a young guy starting a YouTube channel, they think about, what will my uncle say? What will my neighbor say if they hear me talking about what I am talking about? Will they say my parents that what rubbish is he talking about on his phone or on his camera or something? So there is a lot of mental hurdles that we create in our life by telling that what other people are gonna think, because we have been programmed in such a way. But we need to know that we live in a modern era. Even if we are kicked out of the group, even if we are kicked out of a house, yes, I'm telling your parents might kick you out of the house. And even if they did, you would survive, because you are an adult. If I'm gonna assume that you are 18 years old, then you're gonna survive in this world, because you're educated and you have the knowledge of the internet. So it will be pretty easy for you to survive. So there is no harm to us in this. If we leave one tribe, we can always join another tribe. So there are always tribes for everyone. So now comes, what can you do about our people pleasing behavior? Yes, we talked about the reasons that we try to become people pleasers, we try to take validation from other people. But what can we do about it? Here's something that worked for me. Here's something that I tried myself. I used it myself and it worked for me. It was not easy, but it worked for me. So here's it is. Notice your patterns. Notice when you try to impress people. Notice when you try to please people. Do you buy expensive gifts or expensive rings or watches for other people just to impress them, just to show that yes, you can buy valuable stuff and you can gift them and this would be lucky to have you, all that stuff. If all that stuff goes in your mind, then just know that it is a pattern for failure. Like, yes, you are doing that people pleasing activity and maybe you are not going to accept it now, but you know it in your mind that yes, you are trying to please that other person, you're trying to impress that other person. That's the truth. And once you notice those patterns where you seek validation from other people, break them. Don't do those activities anymore. Here's an example. Think of a guy who always takes his friends for lunch or for dinner and always pays their bills. So if he notices that it is his people pleasing behavior, because he thinks that if he pays for them, they are going to respect him more and they are going to become friends with him more. So he does this to please people, to make more friends. So it is nothing wrong, but once he finds that he is doing because of his people pleasing behavior and he decides that this time we are going to split. So the other guys might be confused, like this guy always used to pay for us, now he is gonna tell us that we are gonna split. So they're gonna resent him for a while, but it doesn't matter because he can always leave that tribe and join another tribe. Because we live in an age of modern era where there is abundance of peoples and tribes and communities. Anyone with any kind of belief has a community. Anyone with any kind of resources or any kind of anything they want to give to the world, like they might have a really screwed mindset and they'll also have a community. You'll be surprised to what kind of mindsets have communities. Like I have seen it on Twitter, on Reddit. It is kind of a good thing and also a bad, but I'll take the positive in it. Like no matter what your thought patterns are, you always have a tribe, you always have a community to go. And that's why if you are going to kicked out of a community because you are not doing people pleasing activities which have been taught to you from a childhood, then don't go to that community, don't go to that tribe, don't go to that groups of friends. Change a group of friends. It's easy because we are in a modern era. A simple thing I follow is that I ask myself, do I genuinely want to help that person? Like a friend of me asks to help him at something, at some kind of work or something, but I ask myself, do I genuinely want to help? Is it going to take much of my time? Is it going to take much of my energy? If my answer is no, that I don't want to do that, but I feel pressured, like I feel obligated, like he did something for me in the past, or maybe I feel obligated in the sense that we are conditioned to help other peoples. We are told that if we help other peoples, they are going to help us back and all of that bullshit. So if I feel that I am feeling obligated and this is not coming from that, yes, I should help him, like not in a cool way, then I say no. It might hurt the other person, it might hurt myself too, but I'm gonna say no because it is not genuine. Because it is, and if it isn't genuine, it isn't worth it. That's what I think, because being genuine is the most important thing to me. And if I'm doing something to please other people, if I'm doing things that the other people might feel bad, then I'm gonna do that. Let him feel bad because I'm being genuinely myself. And if he doesn't like me, it doesn't matter. I have other people that will like me for my genuineness. So if you want to dive deep into this people pleasing behavior of human beings, I recommend you 2 books to read. The first one is No More Mr. Nice Guy. That one is obvious, right? And the second one is Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Gazipura. It was a really great book. I read it like a year ago and it kind of changed my perspective towards people pleasing and seeking validation from others. So I recommend these 2 books to everyone who wants to dive more into this people pleasing behavior of human beings and want to learn about it and want to change their behavior and break those patterns. So if you are having trouble with making reading a habit, or you just want to read more, or maybe you just want to become consistent with your reading habit, then I have made a Skillshare class for you where I share a system that will help you read about 80 plus books a year. And if you sign up through my link, you will get Skillshare free for a month. Like literally for a month, you don't have to pay anything. You won't be charged anything for a month. So it's a win-win situation for both of us. You get the class for free and I get an affiliate commission. So please sign up if you want to learn more about reading and how to make reading a habit and all that stuff. So that's it for today's video, and subscribe to us if you haven't yet, because here we help young men become the best version of themselves. So see you until the next video, and until then, have a great time.